Nirmala Sitharaman there, the finance minister, just announced the fifth tranche of the stimulus package. No particular mention on the hospitality sector as was expected, but she did come out with a slew of boosters. Total stimulus package of 20 lakh crore. Nirmala Sitharaman there, dividing it into 5 tranches and explaining which sector has been given how much. Here we're looking at the top key points, takeaways. 40,000 crores for the Manrega scheme, an additional booster there. Nirmala says 40,000 crore more for all of those troubled labourers. Those people under the Manrega scheme will be benefited. Additionally, all districts to have infectious disease blocks. Now, that's another key point. When she focused on health and wellness, she said most of the districts across the country will now have a dedicated infectious disease block, labs, laboratories that will be dedicated to infectious disease for testing and in fact to carry out testing and treatment as well. These blocks will be dedicated for healthcare. Also on education that she touched upon largely with regards to sectors, the MSME sectors as well, and some relief for those the economy largely for those sectors, the relief that she has given in terms of defaulters, at least 1 year period that they've been given before they will be fined. Rajiv Dubey joining us for particulars on the press conference, the fifth tranche that has been announced by Nirmala Sitharaman. Rajiv, please do bring us more on this. We're looking at a fifth tranche that she announced just now. No particular mention of the hospitality sector, which was much awaited, but she did announce a slew of other measures. Do point out what are the key takeaways here.
Yes, Nabila. So as we were discussing just before the presser started, that the government has been consistent, very consistent in one factor, and which is that it's not going to offer sector-specific SOPs. And that seems to have played out as we had expected, because that has been the policy. And it would have been a huge surprise if it was a sector-specific package specifically. As far as this conference, this tranche 5 is concerned, some of the numbers, just don't add up for me. If you look at tranche 4 and 5, the amount that has been attributed to it is of 48,100 crore. But just two big announcements, which is the 40,000 crore additional, Manrega spend, and 50,000 crore that the government will spend in coal evacuation, adds up all other small announcements, which would be well above 1 lakh crore. So how come it has been only 48,000 crore has been accounted for is something that is difficult to understand. But if you look at the overall announcement of this package, 20,97,000 crore, bulk of it is about what is called enabling the environment for business, which is basically in the form of liquidity by Reserve Bank of India or guarantees by the government of India to enterprises to take more loans. If you look at the direct stimulus to what is called the fiscal stimulus, it may not be more than 3 to 4 lakh crore, which is barely about 2% of GDP. So if you look at the entire 10.5% of fiscal stimulus, of the economic stimulus that has been announced of 21 lakh crore in all, if it's about 4 lakh crore or 4 lakh crore is what will come directly from the government's balance sheet and will go into direct stimulus to stoke the economic activity in the country. That's only about 2%, maybe 2.5%. We'll have to look at the exact numbers, but this is what it seems like. Additional spend that is coming, in which case it's going to be way less than what was expected of the government. 5% minimum is what everybody has been saying. You need 10 lakh crore to stimulate good economic activity to create what is called V-shaped recovery.
Right.
So we'll look at the numbers as they come now in detail. But this is what it seems like. Overall, direct injection by the government into the economy. Most of it has happened at subsistence level, which is absolutely critical, which is essential. but it will not have a direct impact on economic activity across the board. So that's what remains the concern. The government has by and large worked on what is called the supply side of the economy and still not worked on the demand side of the economy. Other than that, the investments government expenditure program that it has announced is a very good move, because that is the only engine of the economy which seems to be functioning. So if we are going to spend a lot more into healthcare and education infrastructure of the economy, that is really the need of the hour, because public expenditure is the only engine of the economy which is functioning right now. As you know, consumption is in the dumps. If you look at exports have not been exports have been practically flat. In fact, they are lower than what they were 6 years ago. And private investment is among the lowest in some 3 or 4 decades. So the only economic engine that is working right now is public expenditure. It's good that the government will spend a lot more in public expenditure, especially in healthcare. Our healthcare spends are only about 1 to 1.3% of the GDP. The best countries in the world spend about 10 times more, about 17% of their GDP. So we have a long way to go there. Same with education. We are about 3% of GDP. The best countries spend 6 to 7% of GDP. So that's one good factor that you're seeing from all these announcements, that public expenditure will continue. But as far as the overall spend from the government's balance sheet towards fiscal measures, it seems to be far less than what was anticipated.
Right, Rajiv, there were multiple issues that she did touch upon. Of course, the healthcare, wellness entirely, that she spoke about how infectious disease blocks will be set up, labs will be set up, wellness centers will be started off. To that, boosters will be given through this package. She also spoke about education, online education, schools taking up online education, one platform, and the way that she spoke about teachers being trained with online. She also spoke about a slew of measures with regards to e-education. This booster, will it really help economy revive at this moment when we're looking at a battered plight of it?
It all depends on when these measures play out, and that timeline is still not very clear. The finance minister, even in yesterday's conference, did not give a timeline for the measures when it comes to even the previous one for agriculture, the APMC Act, and yesterday's conference and today's conference, especially, in yesterday when there were measures announced for power sector and other sectors. The timelines are very crucial. How quickly do we restart, or do we start working on these public expenditure programs will depend on how much it will be able to start the economic engine in the economy. As we said, that infrastructure has hundreds of allied industries tied to them. Now, if you start the infrastructure program, public infrastructure program, roads, railways, highways, you start healthcare infrastructure programs, you start education infrastructure programs. There are multiple private sector enterprises that will be able to benefit from it because they will be supplying much of the raw materials either that is required, or for instance in the case of the education programs, much of the educational programs, much of the educational software, much of the educational classes and infrastructure may have to be provided by the private sector, and they will really gain from this. The question is, how soon are we going to start implementing and investing in these programs? This will show up in the current fiscal only if we start it within this quarter. If it's delayed by a quarter or 2 quarters, then your recovery is delayed by that long, and you are nowhere near the V-shaped recovery. So the speed with which the government will work now on public expenditure and public infrastructure will be very critical in ensuring how quickly we can get out of this situation. This is what will really define this whole 21 lakh crore package, whether this will start to play out almost immediately and will have an impact on this fiscal, or it will show up it will show its results in 2, 3, 4 years from now. Because structural reforms, as we have been saying, do take between 2 to 7 years to show their results. So structural reforms are not going to show up in this fiscal. What is required is a very quick implementation of public expenditure program, and if at all the government plans any more DBT transfer anytime soon.
Right. Rajiv, do stay with us. We also have Rahul Srivastav joining us, our National Affairs Editor. Rahul, this was the last tranche announced by the Finance Minister, 20 lakh crore package. But is this the announcements and the sectors that the money has been directed to? Will that really pick the sinking economy now and put it back to its feet?
There is a difference between a direct incentive and structural changes and policy changes and others. Now, if you look at from the day one, the finance minister has announced measures which are structural changes, ease of doing businesses, indirect assistance, and several others. Yes, there were several changes needed for a very long time. And if you look at what has been announced, I will go back to what John Maynard Keynes in the Great Depression had come up with these kind of theories. Now, there are well-intended. The government is looking at resolving not just today's crisis, but creating a roadmap for a long term. But what I will say is that you have migrants walking all over the country. You have got people in acute distress over very basic necessities of roti, kapda, makan. You have a virtual rioting happening in several states. You've got state finances which are down. You've got MSMEs which are on the verge of shutting down, who have already retrenched people, who have already ensured that their losses do not mount. In that scenario, do these five tranches, 20.9 lakh crore, do they stop the migrants in their tracks? No. Do they create a wow factor for MSMEs, large-scale sector, or anybody else? No. There is no wow factor. There is no stopping the migrants in their tracks. They are well-intended. They are long-term. They are looking at a change, but they are not addressing the crisis, which is immediate. And that is why, at this moment, the jury will be out on this very case. Nirmala Sitharaman has carried out the Prime Minister's mandate of announcing a 20.9 lakh crore package. Now, does this package address the immediate crisis? Time will tell. Will the migrants stop? Will the economic activity immediately get spurred? One will have to wait and see.
Right. Rahul, a lot of the focus was also on state governments being given the needed funding right now, and it has been moved. The borrowing limit has been moved from 3 to 5%. She also says the onus is on the state governments to decide on how to handle the crisis on ground. And if migrants are moving from one area to the other, it is their problem because they have been asked very categorically to stay in their respective camps. State governments are taking care of them. If they're still feeling insecure and walking, what much can the government do?
No, I think this is easier said than done. I think the migrants are moving because perhaps there were certain problems vis-a-vis the lockdown. Perhaps an option could have been given before the lockdown. The state governments definitely could have been much better. And this whole tutu-meme between the states and the center, where the center says it's the state's job, the states keep looking at the center. I will tell you a very classic example, for example.
Right, but I'm going to come back to you just a moment. We have some big news coming in from Maharashtra.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.